What we see today only reinforces our previous reading that the market is clearly struggling a lot to break through critical resistance levels. If it succeeds, we could see another very nice rally ahead, but this chart shows us that this is not gonna be that easy. So let's see what we can actually do from now on, because this is the Finance Hydra channel where you get unbiased, straightforward and professional analysis every single day. Our focus is on developing intelligent strategies so that you can trade without stress, without emotions, based on technical evidence and risk control. My name is Nathan, welcome to another daily video. Now yes, we see SPY struggling a lot to break through the resistance level we have been talking about here in this channel for a few days. 567, 565, this double resistance area over here is critical for the SPY. Only if we see SPY's price closing above this key point, we could see we could see confirmation of another very nice rally ahead, because we do see some technical evidence suggesting that yes, the SPY could easily reverse the short-term bearish momentum over here. For instance, on the 1-hour chart, we see that SPY made a double bottom chart pattern. All right, now we see SPY on the verge of making higher highs, higher lows, trading above the 21-hour EMA, the exponential moving average on the 1-hour chart. So by finding a support level near the moving average, by making this double bottom chart pattern, by seeing higher highs, higher lows, this is the only thing missing, right? We gotta see a crystal clear higher high. So we can see higher highs, higher lows. We already see higher lows, but we gotta break this resistance level to renew its high on the 1-hour chart, short-term wise. This will reinforce a bullish possibility on the daily chart, because on the daily chart, SPY deserves a bounce over here, because we dropped a lot since the previous all-time high over here. We dropped roughly 7-8% over here, so we do deserve a bounce to higher levels. Now, what's the problem? The problem is that on the daily chart, even if we see a bounce to the 21-day EMA, maybe that's not gonna be enough to completely reverse the bearish sentiment. So although we see the possibility of seeing SPY reacting, recovering, seeking higher levels, we must see SPY making higher highs, higher lows on the daily chart. Then and only then we may see a very nice, meaningful bullish reversal ahead on the daily chart. Right now, yes, we do see some promising signals short-term wise, even on the weekly chart. If we take a look at the weekly chart, for instance, we see SPY's price struggling above a support line over here. This trend line which connects SPY's price since April last year. Okay, so roughly 1 year trend line over here. Last week we found a support level above this key point. We see a hammer candle pattern above the support line. So this is why it is so critical for us to see the SPY breaking and preferably closing above the 567, because in this context, we are going to also trigger this bottom signal on the weekly chart as well, suggesting a more decent recovery ahead. All right, we may see another pullback, maybe to the 21 weekly moving average, and then we'll see if SPY can actually reverse the medium-term sentiment or not. For now, short-term wise, we are on the verge of reversing. Medium-term wise, we have yet to see a breakout of this resistance area. Long-term wise, we see a possible bottom signal on the weekly chart. So again, what's the key point we want to see SPY breaking in order for it to turn bullish again? 567. Now you may say, Nathan, I don't believe SPY is going to recover. I believe SPY will continue its bearish sentiment over here. Well, in this case, you want to see SPY rejecting last week's low as soon as possible, losing the 550s, because in this context, we are going to see SPY rejecting this hammer candle pattern on the weekly chart and losing this purple trend line as well. This is going to be a very ugly, bearish signal for the SPY ETF. Right now, we have yet to see an upwards breakout and we have yet to see a downwards breakout. So if you ask me, SPY is just struggling, stabilizing its price between its critical support and its critical resistance level. Only a meaningful breakout will bring something new over here. All right, so these are the most important key points for us to monitor from here. Now, the QQQ shares another key point over here around the 485, the previous resistance level, which is very close to the 483, which was a previous support level over here. Now it is working as a resistance level for the QQQ, another example of how the principle of polarity in technical analysis works. Previous support level acting as current resistance level. Okay, so very important to see the QQQ breaking this resistance area, okay? Only if we do that, we could see another very nice rally, possibly to retest the 500s again. Okay, this is going to be our next major resistance level. It is a technical key point over here. Previous resistance, previous support, resistance over here again, support over here again, support over here again. So the $500 area is critical for the QQQ. Okay, only if we see the QQQ breaking this key point, we can see another rally over here. But for now, again, we gotta wait for better, for a more interesting, more robust, more reliable confirmation, okay? And that's going to happen only if we see a breakout of the 583 or the 585, this area over here. Remember, guys, technical analysis is not about magical key points. It works more like a resistance area over here, okay? So we gotta see the QQQ breaking this area in order to design a very robust bullish chart structure, okay? For now, we have yet to see a clear breakout. Now, Nathan, what's the key point that could ruin every single bullish possibility over here? 467. Why? Because if the QQQ loses the 467, it is going to trigger, for the first time in many months, a clear bearish pivot point, a lower high, lower low, making this rally over here another dead cat bounce. Okay, so that's the key point. You want to see the QQQ losing in order for it to turn very bearish again, possibly to retest the 448 again. Okay, which is going to be our next major resistance level. Right now, the QQQ, just like the SPY, is trading between important resistance and support level. Only a breakout will bring something new on the indices, and probably our stocks will be highly affected if we see a crystal clear breakout, because guys, Nvidia, for instance, Nvidia is struggling a lot to break the 21-day EMA. All right, this moving average is clearly acting as a resistance level for Nvidia's price. Now, if we see Nvidia breaking this moving average and breaking the previous high, which is around 122.89, we are going to see a classic, a very powerful bullish pivot point getting triggered, a very nice higher high, higher low. Nvidia made a high and then it found a support level above our yellow area. What a coincidence, right? Which is a major support level for Nvidia. It is a major inflection point for the stock, and right now we are reacting nicely above this yellow area. So if we see a bullish pivot point over here above this support level, breaking the previous high, we are going to see a very nice and a very powerful bullish reversal chart structure on Nvidia, suggesting another rally. So yes, here again, we do see technical evidence pointing towards a very nice recovery. But again, we gotta see Nvidia breaking a few resistance levels first, like the 21-day EMA and the 122.89, so we can trigger a meaningful, important bullish reversal chart structure. Okay, only then we may see Nvidia flying again. Now, but Nathan, what if we lose this yellow area over here? What if we miss this support level in the future? Well, in this case, Nvidia will officially trigger a top signal below the 21-day EMA, making this a very dangerous top level. And in this context, we are going to just resume the bearish sentiment, because Nvidia is clearly bearish. All right, we are making lower highs, lower lows, and guess what? If we do see a top signal over here, in theory, we are going to seek lower lows. In this case, the $100. All right, 100 is a psychological number, round number, right? Interesting support level. So that's going to be our next target if we see Nvidia losing this yellow area. Okay, so let's watch this yellow area very closely from here. And if you are bullish, well, you want to see Nvidia breaking the 122 quickly, as soon as possible. All right, now regarding Tesla, this one, guys, and this one is in a very similar position, because Tesla is between the 255 resistance level and the 218 support level. The 255 was a previous top level before this gap over here, was a support level over here. Now it is acting as a resistance area again. The 218 is another support level from the previous gap, okay, from another previous gap. And we saw Tesla reacting so nicely above this support level that, yes, it could react from here. We could see another bounce. On the weekly chart, we see a bottom signal, okay, a dragonfly doji after closing the gap on the daily chart. Now, what's missing over here is again a breakout of the 255, because the 255 is not only an inflection point on the daily chart, but it is also the trigger point of last week's dragonfly doji. So if you ask me, Tesla has a decent chance of reversing the medium-term bearish sentiment. But we gotta see more technical evidence suggesting that this scenario could materialize. And again, we are going to see more confirmation if a breakout of the 255 occurs. That's the key point you want to see Tesla breaking if you have a bullish outlook on the stock. Now, Nathan, I don't believe Tesla is going to turn bullish. Well, 218, okay, is the trigger point you want to see Tesla losing, because by losing the 218, Tesla will trigger another bearish pivot point. We see a sequence of lower highs, lower lows. Can you see it right here, right now? So by making another lower high, lower low, well, we are going to just continue the very old pattern over here observed since December last year, right? Of lower highs, lower lows. And in this case, we could easily seek our next support level at 182. Of course, we have the 200s as another psychological support level, but from a technical point of view, 182 is our next major support level in Tesla stock. So it all depends on the direction of the next breakout. And guys, I always like to tell you there is no right and there is no wrong over here. If you tell me that you are bullish in Tesla, you want to buy above the 255, you want to set a stop loss, I don't know, below the 218, fantastic, very good for you. Now, if you tell me, Nathan, I want to short Tesla over here, I want to short at the breakout of the 218, set a stop loss around the 240s over here, and this is it, okay? That's totally fine. Guys, there is no right and there is no wrong, as long as we talk about strategies, okay? Because what's wrong over here is trading without stop loss, trading without knowing where is going to be your target. And I see this happening to many people out there, because I see people buying only because, yes, right, because they believe the stock will go up. Guys, we do not believe in anything, okay? We do not believe, we do not have any bias. We only look out for the technical evidence, okay? No emotions, no stress. And when you work with a crystal clear strategy, when you know where your stop loss is going to be, where your target is going to be, how much money are you willing to lose in the first place, how much money are you willing to make if this trade goes right, fantastic. This removes the emotions from this equation. Okay, you're gonna start trading without fear, without stress, because you are controlling the risks of your trades. You are mitigating your losses and maximizing your profits, all right? And this is what we do here in this channel. And guys, of course, if you need help trading strategically without emotions and using a strategy that helps you mitigate risks while maximizing profits, then I invite you to join our educational group, the 5% Project. There, you will receive our trading signals and strategies with excellent planning behind every single trade. I always show our members where to buy, where to sell if it works out, what to do if it goes wrong, all in detail for you. It is free to try, okay? Free trial. You can even download our ebook on technical analysis for free and learn my personal method. It is free, okay? With us, you will learn to trade without fear, without stress, confidently, intelligently, right? So come and meet our group. Again, free to try. The link is in this video's description, right here below, in the video's description. Okay, now guys, so this is why I'm telling you, we see Tesla, we see Nvidia, many stocks in a very interesting situation right now, near a very important inflection point, all right? It is a very important moment for these stocks. It all depends on the direction of the next breakout, because if you ask me, players are just trying to accumulate or maybe distribute our stocks in this area, okay? So let's be very careful and always wait for confirmation, because that's the main difference between traders and gamblers. Gamblers, they don't know what they are doing. They don't have any idea of how much they're gonna lose. They have no idea of how much they're gonna win if the trade goes right. So guys, let's always trade strategically, without betting on the market, without trading basing on emotions, on gut feelings, on what we think it could happen, all right? No beliefs, no thinking, no gut feeling, right? No stress, no emotions, only strategy. Here we only work with strategy, all right? Now AMD, guys, AMD is doing a very promising reaction, all right? Of course, we saw similar promising reactions like this before, over here, right? Over here, over here, over here again. We saw the breakout of the 21-day EMA, which is a quite reliable resistance area, okay? So seeing seeing AMD, I mean, breaking the 21-day EMA over here, okay, is interesting, all right, but I'm still skeptical. Now, if we see AMD making again a crystal clear higher high, higher low, that would be phenomenal. That would be what we need to see AMD doing in order to reverse the medium-term bearish sentiment, all right? So for now, we see promising reaction. Yes, it is promising, but we gotta see a better bullish chart structure suggesting that AMD could actually reverse. Now, if you're bullish on AMD, I have something very interesting to share with you guys over here. See this chart over here? AMD is in bearish territory, okay? In August last year, we saw a death cross happening over here. We see the 200 period moving average, which is this red line, and we see the blue line, which is the 50 period moving average. The 50 period moving average did cross the 201 over here in August last year, triggering a death cross pattern, okay? So all right, that's one of the most classic bearish signal known in technical analysis, okay? It is a bear market for AMD. Okay, good, very good. But do you see this line over here below the chart, below the price? This line is the OBV, a very nice indicator, which is the accumulation of the volume, all right, in correlation to the price. So the OBV over here is going up, is actually going up since February, since the beginning of February, while the price is dropping. So it is quite suggestive, okay? Maybe the smart money is starting to buy, is accumulating AMD over here, because the OBV is clearly going up. The volume is increasing. When we see bullish candles, it means that when we see green days, when we see bullish days, investors are buying more aggressively than they are selling when we see bearish days. All right, so this is quite interesting. It is quite suggestive. If you have no idea of what the OBV is, well, I recommend taking a look. Studying this indicator, okay, because it is a quite good one. I do like to study the OBV from time to time, so it is a very nice way of identifying what the smart money is doing as well. Because guys, technical analysis, and I see some people complaining a lot, all right? Oh, Nathan, the smart money is doing this, is doing that. We retail traders, we always get screwed by the smart money. Well, guys, if you know how to read charts properly, you can identify what the smart money is doing. Because the media may say something, okay, but guys, if you know what the smart money is doing, you can identify the next major reversals. You can identify the most important inflection points for our stocks. You can trade correctly following the money. Okay, because we are not here to create trends, all right? As retail traders, we gotta understand that we are weak. All right, we are weak. We don't have as much money as the big, fancy institutional players. We have to take care of our money and trade with a very nice and powerful strategy. And the technical analysis is here to help us designing such strategy. We can identify what the smart money is doing and follow the money. We are not here to buy the very bottom and sell the very top every single time. We can't do that. If someone promises you this, well, this is crazy, okay? We are here to make money consistently, and that's okay in sacrificing part of our profits for more confirmation. And this is why I always tell you guys, let's wait for confirmation, okay? Let's see how the market is doing, how the market will behave, and trade strategically, all right? So yes, we see some interesting signals on AMD over here. Maybe the smart money is buying. So let's see if we're gonna see a reversal or not. If you ask me, now would be a very good time to see a very nice reversal on AMD. Maybe a reversal to the 144 again. That would be very good. Very, very good. So AMD does look promising, okay? The only thing missing over here is a crystal clear bullish pivot point getting triggered. Now, Palantir, on the other hand, Palantir is below the 21-day EMA, which is clearly acting as a resistance level for its price. We have yet to see a breakout. Today, we almost broke it, right? We almost did a nice breakout, and we see possible another bullish pivot point on the 1-hour chart. We are starting to see higher highs, higher lows, short-term wise. So Palantir is turning bullish right here, right now. For more confirmation, we gotta wait for the breakout of this moving average resistance level. Nathan, what if we see a very ugly bearish reaction on Palantir in the next few days? In this case, I do see Palantir retesting the $72 support level again. Very simple situation. Right now, there is no top signal, there is no bearish reaction, but it is important to see more confirmation. It is important to see the breakout of this moving average for more confirmation, for confirmation purposes, all right? So let's see how Palantir will behave from here. And guys, by the way, if you are still watching this video and you are not a subscriber, dude, consider subscribing, because clearly you did like the content so far. No one who's sane would watch a video for more than 23 minutes without liking it. Therefore, consider subscribing. Click the like button to support me as well. We are here every single day, unbiased analysis, straightforward, professional, always working with crystal clear strategies, always trying to teach you guys how to protect your money. So guys, subscribe for more analysis like this, okay? Now, Apple, this one looks very interesting because we are near a support level. However, it is critical, it is imperative for Apple to make a very, very good, meaningful bullish reaction, closing above this key point over here, $221.33. That's the key point Apple needs to break on the weekly chart in order to reject the idea of a head and shoulders chart pattern. Okay, so as far as I know, if we do not see such miraculous reaction, what's next for Apple? A retest of the 196. Okay, 196, that's our next support level. That's where I see Apple next, okay? Unless if we see technical evidence proving otherwise, meaning a breakout of this 221 resistance level. Okay, so far we are trying to react, but that's still not enough. Apple deserves a better reaction so we can confirm a false breakout of this support level on the weekly chart. All right, so far there is no such meaningful bullish reaction, so in theory Apple is supposed to retest the 196. Okay, if we lose this support level over here around 208, then it's over. Okay, we're gonna trigger another bearish pivot point, another lower high, lower low. So that's going to be a very, very ugly chart structure for Apple. But for now, well, we are trying to stabilize our prices over here. So okay, I'm still a little bit skeptical, but bearish until Apple proves otherwise. Okay, that's how I see the situation on Apple stock. And guys, IWM is trying to react already. This is what I would like to see on Apple. Okay, a bullish reaction after a false breakout of this support level. Okay, that's optimal. That's a very good, meaningful bullish reaction. And by the way, IWM is on my personal radar as well. I did recommend IWM triggered a buy signal for the 5% project right here near the support level. All right, so it is performing very well right now, but it is still a very delicate situation. We gotta see IWM breaking the 21-day EMA to reinforce our previous bullish thesis. Okay, either way, so far so good. The situation is still under control, but we gotta pay attention and observe on how IWM is going to behave near this resistance area. Okay, so it is looking good, but it could be better. All right, if we close above the 204 support level, that's going to be a very good indicator, a very good signal that IWM could recover from here on the weekly chart, making a bottom signal on the weekly chart. But so far we gotta wait for more confirmation on the daily chart. All right, so far so good. The 5% project is controlling everything. Our positions, they all have a crystal clear good trading methodology supporting our decision making process. So far so good. All right, and guys, before I forget, applications for the new mentoring program open tomorrow. All right, yes, I will personally help you with your trades, with your investments. I will study you. I will get to know you and work out a perfect plan that fits your unique profile and that resonates with your goals. All right, it will be 4 weeks, but after the program is over, we can enter into a long-term partnership, and this is why I have only 5 places left. Okay, because I still have people from the previous mentoring program from November last year. Okay, and I am not going to promise another mentorship this year. Okay, so this is going to be probably the first and only mentorship program in 2025. All right, so for more details, the link to my website is also in this video's description. Okay, guys, thank you very much for your audience, my dear friends. See you guys tomorrow as usual. Stay safe. Bye bye.